Hey everyone, what's going on? This is Lamont Gilchrist, and I'm going over the tutorial on mindset and the makings of a good person able to manipulate their body, or able to compete at a high level, or how to be an athlete, because even lifting weights is an athletic movement. The first thing that you have to understand, and the first thing that you have to be able to master, is your perception of death. What I mean by that is that usually fear in an athletic arena is usually the equivalent of, am I going to get injured? Am I going to get embarrassed? How are others going to see me? Am I going to get ridiculed? Am I going to die? If you can get rid of all those entities or fear factors in your training, your sports, or whatever arena that you are in, then you have accomplished something that some even professional and high level athletes will never accomplish and have not accomplished, and will never be truly 100% able to excel at what it is that they do. They are there, and don't get me wrong, they are work hard and everything else. They are there because they were born with a talent and a skill set that allows them to perform at that level. That has nothing to do with their testing fortitude, their fear factor, their mindset, or anything else like that. Over repetitive reinforcements from peers, social groups, usually coaches, babying them, cuddling them, pushing them forward. They develop a identity and a ability as not to be as fearful under certain situations. But even professional athletes and professional basketball, football, and everybody else get fear. But they have done these things over a period of time, repetitively, that they have confidence that at least they're not going to die. And so they go for it and they do it for whatever gratification that they get from that. Me as an athlete, and a lot of other people who are athletes and may have or may not have been able to be fortunate enough to be a professional athlete, sometimes have to grind it. As the old Ben Hogan said, he made his swing out of the dirt. Some of us have to grind out of the situation. Grinders allow for testing fortitude, going through walls. In the heat of battle, they will show up, and they understand that ridicule, death, injury is not the worst thing that can happen. Not reaching their goal is actually the worst thing that can actually happen to them. And so whatever their skill level may be, they will always be able to go to the full extent of their genetic potential or ability. If they have a great genetic potential and ability, they will go to the top of the greatest of all times. That's just how it works. So I'm going to demonstrate this, and using that mindset, every weight that I get under, every weight that I lift, every time that I get into a situation, my first thing is I am in control. I own this regardless of whatever the outcome is, and I will face whatever the repercussions are of doing this, good or bad. If I rip my leg off, if I tear my leg off, if I break my back, I accept the risk fully. I will not blame anyone else. I am solely responsible for what it is that I'm doing, because I believe that I am the greatest at what it is that I am doing. So hence, I will push myself and prove to myself that I am wrong or right. I respect every weight like that, so I give it that respect, that that significant, or the respect level of fear of competing or going against an adversary, that anything is possible. So I take that into full account. That's what keeps me on point with the technical parts of it: lifting, breathing, getting underneath, and having an objective. I have an objective of what it is that I'm trying to do every time I get up under a weight. Today, right now, what I'm about to demonstrate is my objective of stretching, getting my ligaments, movements, getting ready for my workout, but controlling the weight, getting sit up in this Smith machine squat. I'll move my feet out. So in my objective right here, I'm going into my posterior chain, got my feet pushed out. I'm going down, I'm feeling my body. I feel my ligaments, I'm down here, I'm almost resting up for a little bit. I'm bouncing, short breath, and I'll power up. Right there, I just evaluated my body, see what my legs are doing, see what the muscles of my quads and my posterior chain. Everything was feeling like I felt a little stiffness in my back. As I do a couple more and get right with my body, because that is the number one first thing that I have to be right with, to make sure that I do not put myself in harm's way, or the risk reward factor. If the risk is too great, and whatever it is that I have planned from a lifting aspect, and the reward isn't going to be as great, then I don't do it. I don't have anything to prove to anybody. You know, I plan on doing this forever. I believe in longevity. I believe in being smart. I have done and tore my body up for coaches, for teams, for games, for pride, because I am a warrior. Because I don't have no problem with doing that. But in retrospect, and in building character, you have to know and be realistic with yourself about the risk reward. And don't let anyone else influence that for you. So that is my first part of this tutorial about the mindset of a competitive athlete, a lifter, someone wanting to get in shape, what you got to bring to the table, how you got to bring these thoughts to the table. I'm going to pause it, and then we'll go into another explanation about once you get loosened up and once you actually start doing the work. Thanks. What's good? What's good? I'm back. All right. So that first part of it that I discussed was just kind of like the mindset, getting the mindset, understanding the risk, the reward, everything else like that. Now, I'm going to say something that's going to seem kind of cruel, but it's not cruel. It's nature. No matter how hard you go, no matter how hard you try, genetically, if someone is genetically superior as an athlete, or with strength or ability, you can work until you blue in the face, and you will probably not be able to match them genetically or beat them. That sounds cruel. That sounds unfair. That sounds like I'm killing people's dream. No. All that means is that you need to find your own way, because you're not them. Now, I'm not saying that you can't. I've seen people be professional athletes that are not the best athletes. The 50s and the 60s was filled with that. And sometimes people just don't become great athletes or reach their genetic potential because they get sabotaged with drugs or where they come from, environment, and other aspects. I've seen that kill a lot of programs, a lot of cities, baseball, football teams around the country. That's the reality of it, is that we lose athletes and we lose people because the competitive nature is also prevalent in other aspects of their life, like selling drugs or using drugs or other stuff like that. Now, there are enhancements, and people will do whatever it takes to give the perception of being healthy, being the best, or competing at a high level. Whatever you do is your business. I don't condone, I don't consent to anyone's journey or path, because you have to live with the repercussions. The only thing that I'm trying to get to, and the point that I'm trying to make, is that once you understand who you are, your genetic potentials, what you're dealing with, what you're working with, then you can take a realistic approach to whatever it is that you're doing to try to get better. You may never be better genetically than the best, but I've seen the best fall because someone has intestinal fortitude, and the best, like the rabbit and the turtle, opened the door just a little bit, took that for granted, their genetic potential, and slipped up, and someone slipped in, or the turtle slipped by and won the race. It happens all the time. Do not be the one with the genetic potential that let that slip away. Destroy the turtle. To my young athletes and to everybody else, let people know that you are superior. Do not even give them a hint of hope that they have a shot against them. Destroy them, destroy their mind, and you will destroy their body, and you will destroy, and you will rule over them, because they cannot see any pathway into beating you. And you need to do that to everyone that you come across, because some people will not be intimidated in a particular way. And then you will have to prove it and go into battle. And then you will have to do what all the skills is that you're training to do. I didn't want to ramble on, so I'm going to do another set. And now I'm going to actually be doing the set. Same weight, different mindset. Now I'm going to be going up and down, working on being in control, working on my technique, working on my breathing. Actually trying to still loosen up because it's still light enough, but envisioning me being superior, controlling from beginning to end, dominating my adversary this way, trying to accomplish, have my will with it, or what it is that I'm trying to accomplish, to the very end, with what I know, what I have in mind. Not what everybody else thinks, but what I have in mind. So I take the weight off. Same thing as when I was stretching, I get into the position. Now I'm working on my breathing, getting into my posterior chain, my pelvic, my movement, my foot placement. I could have just pushed the weight up anyway. I didn't have to worry about my hips coming in or looking a particular way. But because I know what it is that I'm trying to accomplish, I do it. Even if I make the weight heavy, I still do that, even though it's harder to push heavy weight and still try to accomplish what the things that it is that I'm trying to accomplish. I do that because I don't compromise the integrity of what it is that I'm trying to do. If lifting the weight was the objective, then I would compromise everything just to get the weight up so that I could say, oh, I lift the weight. But I'm building something, so I will not compromise the integrity of the foundation or what it is that I'm building or what I'm envisioning. I'll leave with that note to all you athletes and everyone out there that's training and trying to get in shape. Remember what it is that you're building. Know the integrity of the structure of the program, the legacy, the career that you're building, and do not compromise and go all out. That's my tutorial on the mindset of how to be a great athlete, how to get in shape, and the mindset that you must take into working out and being competitive with the true number one contender, yourself. Thanks.